Hey guys, this is Danny Boy. Today I have the Cerberus Harrier. It is essentially a fully automatic Mattock. It does less damage per shot, but it can fire full auto. It was added in the Firefight DLC today. It was added in the multiplayer quite a while ago. To compare it to another full... I don't actually have the Mattock on this character, but it does less damage per shot and blah blah blah. But to compare it to other full auto assault rifles, it weighs a lot more than the Avenger, lower capacity, much lower fire rate, greater damage per shot, and it's far more accurate. To compare it to the Revenant, less weight, half capacity, much lower fire rate, greater damage, and it's, again, much more accurate. So apologies, I'm not directly comparing it to the Mattock, but it's essentially just less damage per shot, and it fires full auto. I mean, it's a pretty simple weapon, ultimately. Get another weapon with a blue muzzle flash. Bioware does love their blue muzzle flashes. So this is going to be kind of long, so I'm going to first fire it like semi-auto / burst maybe. You know what? Screw semi-auto. I'll just fire it burst. If you really want to fire this weapon semi-auto, you really should just be using a Mattock anyway. So also, yeah, it reloads quick just like the Mattock. It has a low capacity like the Mattock, especially in reserve, or rather in the chamber for a fully automatic assault rifle. But, so from the hip, burst fire, quite accurate. Now full auto. Does just fine full auto at point blank as it should, though you are getting a tighter grouping. Firing in bursts. Already getting a noticeable spread. Pretty bad, actually, for short. Full auto is even worse. So even at short, I would probably burst center mass, honestly. Very inaccurate when fired from the hip. Not very good. Let's try mid. Assume it will be even worse. Alright. Still bad, but I guess you could burst center mass. Full auto is definitely not an option anymore, though, even at mid. Really, full auto is only an option for point blank. Then beyond that, you should be bursting center mass. Let us try long. See if bursting is still effective. We're definitely missing the target entirely at this point. I'm not even going to bother for headshots anymore. Let's see. Terrible. Terrible. And just because I have OCD, we'll do long. Maybe it will magically be more accurate at even longer ranges. I do love the sound of this weapon. I love the sound. Alright. And terrible. So basically, burst center mass beyond point blank. Point blank full auto, burst center mass at short mid, and don't bother beyond that. Okay. Let us now fire down the sights. Very accurate when fired down the sights and burst. And in full auto, for that matter. Sizable improvement over the hip. Let us try short. Great. Great, you could definitely full auto at short. Go for headshots. Let's try mid. I think we're getting a more noticeable spread now. Still great when fired in burst at mid. Full auto is getting a little dicey. Center mass is still fine. Head is getting a bit worse, but I would say still doable, so you could probably still full auto the head at mid, though you would conserve ammo better with bursting the head at mid. Let's try long. Alright. Long burst is still phenomenal when fired down the sights. Full auto at long, you probably should just stick to center mass, but you could definitely still burst the head. And we still did get a number of shots on target on the head, even at long full auto. So this is actually a very accurate weapon fired down the sights. Not so much when fired from the hip. So now very long. I just kind of worked my way up there. Let's go for the head a bit more. There are more shots fired on that target than this one. Bursting, still very, very accurate at very long range. Full auto was fine for center mass. The head was kind of a problem. I mean, it's just random. If these were just a little higher because of the random spread, they would have all been on target. So you could still technically do it, but if you want a guaranteed thing, probably should go for a burst. So this thing is very accurate when fired in bursts, all the way up to very long range, can go for headshots. For full auto, though, you should probably stick full auto, probably stick to, no longer than mid-range maybe. Beyond that, for headshots at least, beyond that, just go center mass. But you could probably get headshots at long as well. It's just not as efficient as bursting. Okay. So now let's throw in a scope and see if it makes a significant difference. It's already really accurate, so I don't know if it's really going to matter, and there are other mods for the assault rifle that are good, but let's see. Point blank. I mean, it was already ridiculous, so with just the sights at point blank, so this shouldn't really matter. And yeah, perfect, perfect. Perfect. If anything, it makes it a little harder to aim because you have tunnel vision. Short. It's an improvement, but, I mean, it was already all on target, so who cares? Solid. I mean, it's an improvement. I think we're getting tighter spread, but, again, it's really just overkill. Not really necessary. Still an improvement, but it was already really good at mid with just the sights. But I would say good, and it was maybe a little easier to aim just because it's a scope and you're closer, you're zoomed in. Very easy to compensate for the recoil. I don't really have to do anything. So, I mean, seems pretty comparable to just the sights, really. It was already fine with the sights. Not seeing a tremendous difference at long full auto either. We still missed most of our headshots. Doesn't seem to be strictly necessary. It's an improvement, but not a, you know, really significant one. The point that I would say it's like mandatory. Come to me. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, it's definitely good, but it was already really good when fired in burst just with the sights. And not seeing a huge improvement with full auto. So I would say, really, just use the scope if you just like a scope. You like being zoomed in, and it's easier for you to aim and get headshots or whatever. But that's basically it, guys. This was the Cerberus Harrier. It is an automatic Mattock, essentially. It does less damage per shot, but you have the option of firing in full auto. It's very, very accurate for an assault rifle. Reloads quickly. It has not a lot of ammo, though. It has a good amount in reserve, but not much in the clip, so you could definitely run it dry pretty quick. That's it. It was added in the Firefight DLC. Thanks, guys, for watching. Stay tuned for more. Please like the video if you liked it. Please sub if you want to see more. Leave comments and feedback. Ask questions, and I'll get back to you. And have a good one.